Hey there, I'm Adam Jen the Critic. I almost got ran off the road and almost crashed, but that doesn't matter. Today, we're going to be talking about Fallout, Amazon, Season 2, Episode 4. Let's get into this mess right now. We go on ahead and get a flashback to the Sino American War with Cooper. The thing I'm actually kind of surprised is that the war is even canon in Amazon's Fallout, because they decided that the nuclear fallout wasn't due to, two warring nations, they have beef with each other, they're after resources. No, it's not that. The main reason was because capitalism, and we have to win the game of capitalism, because big corporations win because capitalism. That's why. I'm very shocked that this is still even in the story. Very strange. Anyway, we focus to Cooper and Charlie. What happens is that they're in pretty bad situation. Their power armor that they're in is malfunctioning. Cooper fakes a message to Charlie just saying, guess what, man? We're ordered to go back, but you can go back first. I'll meet you there. All this leads to is Charlie leaving, and then Cooper gets jumped by the Chinese army. Then they practically lay him out. And the Chinese army squadron is led by a woman. Who is shocked by this? Nobody should be shocked by this. Anyway, the woman starts talking down Cooper, thinking that he's trash, he sucks. She even steals Lucy's line of okie dokie, and then practically continues on mocking him. In the background, Cooper hears this roar type of the most generic monster war you can ever think of. The monster is revealed to be a DeathClaw. Yeah, I'm gonna get into the DeathClaw a little bit later. So what happens is that the DeathClaw comes in, he practically murders everyone in there because no strong independent woman is going to be taken down by any man, so a monster came in and did it. Cooper is practically seeing all this happen. The monster just looks at Cooper and leaves. That's all that happened. Alright, so the scene is over, but I still want to talk about it. There's something about this scene that I'm okay with it, but I have a very huge problem with it as well. Now, this scene was a retcon, a Fallout 3 retcon, I believe, where they inserted this in for the DeathClaw to be involved in the Sino American War, which that wasn't recorded, I believe, in either Fallout 1, 2, or New Vegas. But I actually don't mind this retcon because it actually does fit nicely within the lore and what a DeathClaw is. Okay, to try to keep it brief, a DeathClaw is this genetically engineered monster made from either a combination of dangerous animals or from a chameleon. I believe it is the latter rather than the former. Let me know in the comments if you're an OG Fallout fan. Anyway, so they're practically genetically engineered from the Mariposa secret US military base, and they are practically meant to just be these killing machines that are supposed to potentially replace soldiers or either fight alongside them. I think it's more the replace. Plus, in the current Fallout timeline, the DeathClaw is usually considered the most dangerous creature in the wasteland, or if not one of the most dangerous one. Like, if you see a DeathClaw, well, it's in their name. Death is basically your only option. You're not going to outrun it, you're not going to outspeed, you're not going to outmuscle it. It practically is the end. So I don't have any issues with Amazon Fallout having a DeathClaw in this scene. It makes sense due to the fact that it was supposed to be a US military weapon. However, the issue that I have is that Amazon/Bethesda, they're completely fine with respecting the Bethesda Fallout. Fallout 3, 4, 76, their lore, they're completely okay with that. But anything with Fallout 1, 2, or New Vegas, they could care less about. They will continuously go out of their way to bury and shit on the lore that made this series popular. But hey, to the old stuff, fuck them. F them. But to the new stuff, the Todd Howard stuff, we love you so much. Come here, Fallout. You're our precious baby. I don't care if we're adapting New Vegas. They absolutely suck. But Todd Howard, your stuff is so good. So good. It's so good. Okay, back to the main timeline with Lucy. Lucy is shown recovering at the NCR Ranger camp, the one the ghoul found in the previous episode. All that really matters is that Lucy and the NCR Ranger woman get to talking, and the main cause of the talk is that Lucy brings up, I have to go find somebody, which is her dad. The NCR Ranger woman asks, okay, you finding this dad, is it going to be a good or a bad thing? The ghoul basically instigates, I'm curious as well. Lucy decides to give the easy cop-out answer of justice. That's it, justice. The NCR woman is like, justice? Justice? We are about the justice, the NCR. I love us some justice. That's good. That's really good. She decides to give Lucy some weapons and stuff that they have because it's too much, and she tries to convince Lucy to join the NCR. Lucy looks at both of them, sees they're absolutely crusty, takes their weapons and leaves. She's like, you guys suck. Okay, she doesn't do it like that, but pretty much she and the ghoul just leave. Lucy says, oh, they're nice, but the ghoul weirdly says, oh, well, imagine if they knew that it was your father who nuked Shady Sands. And now it's time for me to get to the critique part of this. How in the blue monkey hell does the ghoul know that Hank was responsible for the nuking of Shady Sands? Like, am I missing a scene from season 1? I don't think I am, because this makes absolutely no sense. No one should really know that Hank was the one responsible for nuking Shady Sands. If anything, I thought that the Bethesda/Amazon writers were going to be like, oh, well, we're going to use this as a big reveal so Maximus can learn that it was Lucy's dad and then he'll hate Lucy, blah, blah, blah. That's what I thought. But the show just casually just dropped this, and this doesn't make sense because there's no way the ghoul could ever know or should know. This is very weird and odd, and unless this was something explained beforehand, which I highly doubt, this is just a massive plot hole. Lucy and the ghoul are traveling again, but Lucy starts acting weird. The ghoul reveals that the NCR injected her with Buffout for her to recover. Buffout is a pre-world steroid, and this is a very popular Fallout mechanic to where you use drugs to help players get stronger. Now, the downside, of course, of using the drugs is that if you don't use it for a while, you become an addict or whatnot, and then after that, your main player stats, such as agility and strength, would decline. The ghoul, seeing this, offers her two suggestions. Either one, just don't take the drugs, or two, take more drugs, which admittedly, I did kind of laugh at a little bit. It took 12 episodes. 12 episodes for me to actually laugh at an Amazon Fallout joke. Lucy decides to go on ahead and takes the drugs. And, at first I thought, oh, okay, this is kind of surprised. I wasn't expecting this. But then wait a minute, I realized this is 2026. We're ruled by pharmaceutical companies. Of course they want us to take drugs. Anyway, we go into the New Vegas Strip, which is completely ruined. The ghoul sees this and he sees a bunch of Elvis-looking ghouls. But Lucy, under the influence of Buff, decides, let's just go through, and she goes on ahead and has a whole scene where she murders all of them. She's being impatient, she doesn't care anymore. She's actually being a cool character for once. However, I have two problems with it. The first is that Lucy is such a boring character. She's only interesting when you have drugs. That's how you know the person sucks. The second is that who she does this to. Lucy goes on ahead and just exterminates the Kings. The Kings are one of the most beloved Fallout New Vegas factions outside of the recurring ones and let's say the brand new big ones such as Caesar's Legion and Mr. House. The Kings are a group of tribals that are located in Freeside, right outside the New Vegas Strip. The reason they're outside of the New Vegas Strip is due to Mr. House picking 3 other families to help him rebuild and basically run the New Vegas Strip. These 3 other families are the Omertas, the White Glove Society, and the Chairman. Alright, after that whole battle with families and whatnot in Mr. House, I don't know if it was a couple of years or multiple years later. Either way, a lone tribal, who would later be known as the King, or as others would say, the Kang, found the King School of Impersonation in Freeside. This school was pretty much a memoriam towards Elvis Presley. However, in typical Fallout fashion, Elvis was not named. He was referred to as the King. And throughout these readings that the Scavenger found, it was that, oh, well, people loved and revered him due towards his independence, his style, his liberty, and his music. Even the way the King goes on ahead and talks. Now, the Scavenger was so revealed by the King, who is also Elvis, so much so that the Scavenger decided to call himself the King. And the King pretty much went on ahead through his own style by copying Elvis and whatnot, basically formed a group with other tribals and whatnot as the King. Now, the Kings, of course, are one of the most powerful Freeside factions, but the thing is about them is that compared to other groups such as the Van Graffs, who are completely horrible people in the New Vegas world, the Kings are one of the more upstanding people in Freeside. And one of the things that's cool about them is that each individual members, they view themselves as a king. Not in an arrogant way, but they like to be free, independent, not being told what to do, what to believe in. They accept who they are no matter what. And this persona gives him the strength to live on through that. And this is just a sad thing that the New Vegas adaptation, Amazon's Fallout, just completely said screw all of that. What also makes this very terrible is that in the show, to make Lucy look cool, the Kings had to be practically sacrificed and buried in order for Lucy to have a moment. It's like, oh, I don't suck. I did something cool for one. This is one of the main things that really just pissed me off about Amazon's Fallout, but at this point, we all know this is what modern media does. They can't have the cool thing people love and cherish stand out. They need to push their inferior, pathetic garbage as the new greatness, when in reality, they know they can't create anything special. Are at the New Vegas Strip that's completely ruined and destroyed. Now, the two of them are basically looking around until a DeathClaw emerges, which freaks both of them out, and the episode ends. This is going to be a very hot take, but this is just how I personally feel. I do not like the design of the DeathClaw in Amazon's Fallout. I know that the design is based off of the Fallout 4 DeathClaw design, however, it looks like a very generic demon that you would see off of Doom. And not even like a boss demon, just like a side henchman demon from Doom. I personally prefer the Fallout 1 to 2 design, even though they're just a bunch of pixels. But the reason I like it is because it fits with the lore of the DeathClaw and it still looks pretty dangerous. A DeathClaw is this genetically altered mashup of a bunch of animals and mutants and whatnot, etc, etc. They're not supposed to look like this organic life form. That's not the point of a DeathClaw. It's supposed to be this freakazoid sci-fi experiment that symbolizes the death, the end of you. If you just have a demon, you can just practically get that from any other series and franchise. Alright, even though the episode of the Amazon show is over, this review isn't. It's time for the absolute worst part of Fallout. You know what that is? It's time to talk about Vault 31, 32, and 33. Oh god, let's get to this. In Vault 33, the people there are having this party, this group party that the idiot black overseer woman decided, okay, you guys can have a group. She's a complete idiot about this because this is a mockery of Fallout 1. They have no water and they're running out of food, supplies, and everything. But they decide, oh, you guys have a group, knowing that this will lead to a party. The Vault 33 overseer idiot decides, wait a minute, I have to try and save the vault. So she decides to go meet the blondie overseer girl boss from season 1 with the eye patch, and they both have a meeting with each other. However, this meeting practically goes like this. The black woman says, wait a minute, I put you in this position. You're supposed to help us. The blonde says, well, even though you helped me, this is politics. I really don't care what you did for me back then. I'm focusing on now, and now I could care less about you. However, the blonde goes on ahead and says, well, there's this box that's in Vault 31. If you can get it for me, I'll consider giving you some resources. We don't know what's in the box, and I completely doubt what is in the box is going to be anything worthwhile. It's going to be some dumb Bethesda writing. While this is happening, the fat dude in here, which I'm curious, why are there so many fat people in this show when this is supposed to be a post-apocalypse, basically meaning that resources are limited. And I know someone could say, wait a minute, Adam Jen, there's a fat guy in Fallout 1 called Gizmo. Gizmo was a crime boss who was hoarding and extorting a bunch of resources from people. That's why he's fat, because everyone else is suffering, so that doesn't count. Then the fat dude goes to the blonde overseer. He goes and says this, listen, I just saw you two breaking the rules, and I don't know who to report this to. You know, you're an overseer, so I'm supposed to report it towards an overseer, but I did see both of you breaking your rules, and that's very bad. I don't know how it's supposed to go. What am I supposed to do? I'm just supposed to go and ask you about it. This idiot, this fat, stupid son of a bitch goes on ahead to the person breaking the rules, and he goes and tries to snitch to them on them. This man is a freaking idiot. While this is happening, we're going to focus on Lucy's incest-loving cousin, who was in the background the whole time. While they're both distracted, he goes and searches the blondie overseer's stuff, and he finds a secret. The secret is, she's the enemy of us all. She's a Canadian! I can't say the other country because, you know, I'll get banned off of YouTube. But yeah, this scene absolutely sucks. The Vault stuff absolutely sucks. So Norm is with the Vault 31 idiots. They find food. Thankfully, it wasn't irradiated. It wasn't expired. Nothing bad like that. Norm gets to talking. Then this random dude comes up who was like, oh, I was basically just the company wage slave employee of the month for these business guys. I'm so important. Then Norm goes on ahead, stupidly asking, what do you know about the plan? And the guy gets suspicious, like, oh, what are you talking about? All this happens is that the idiot that shows up now takes advantage of Norm being an absolute idiot. He's now the one in control of leading the Vault 31 idiots to doing whatever he wants. Norm is an absolute complete waste of a character. I can't believe I even gave him any hope. And this guy is absolutely one of the worst characters of the show. Absolute embarrassment. Speaking of total embarrassments, let's talk about the Brotherhood of Steel. We go back to Maximus in the sweatshop with Thaddeus and the Ghoul Kids. Now, the Brotherhood are approaching, so Maximus gets out of the suit and says, okay, I need you to wear the power suit, pretend that you're Xander, Thaddeus. Thaddeus says, I don't want to, but he does it anyway. All this leads to is a bunch of numerous unfunny scenes of Thaddeus, who doesn't know how to work the power suit. They practically head back to the Brotherhood of Steel base. Maximus with his friend, they practically get to talking. The friend ultimately figures out that, wait a minute, something's up, you're doing some sneaky stuff. Then Maximus is like, okay, fine, you figured it out. But he goes on ahead and says, listen, there's some Ghoul Kids, I need you to save them. Doesn't tell his friend where the ghouls are at. Maximus then goes on and says, I have a plan. The friend says, what is your plan, Maximus? He says, I don't really have much of a plan. I'm just gonna kill Quintus, and that's gonna solve everything. And I thought to myself, this guy's a fucking idiot. No, it's not. Maximus meets Elder Quintus, his daddy figure. So Quintus goes ahead, clears the room. Then Maximus goes on ahead, pulls a piece towards him, and says, you're gonna have to die, Quintus. Quintus is kind of like, Maximus, if I die, the wasteland falls too. The Brotherhood needs to be heroes. You know, if Fallout Amazon actually had competent writers, this is how it could have went. Maximus would have been hearing this. Maximus, you're my son. You are a complete idiot. You failed, and there's so many times that you committed treason. But I believed in you, man. From the day I found you, I saw someone who wanted to do good. I looked at you as my son. I wanted to believe that you're someone that I can always trust, someone I can count on. Even when everyone was saying that I should put you down, I told them no, that he'll stand up and he'll do the right thing for the Brotherhood, for every single one of us. And in the end, we will be thanking you for it. But of course, we don't get anything like that, you know, any depth of good writing. Instead, we get the generic, if I fall, then everything else falls. It ends, it falls. And then Quintus says, but Maximus, tell me what happened. Tell me why, what's going on? Maximus then reveals about the ghoul kids, and Quintus absolutely loses it, which is hilarious considering all the dumb stuff Maximus has done to the Brotherhood this entire show. But the ghoul kids is the thing that sets him off, not Maximus leading the Brotherhood to almost getting killed by Moldaver's people. Not Maximus betraying the Brotherhood for some sweet Lucy booty. Not Maximus basically going on ahead and taking a knight's power armor and letting him die. None of that does, but him saving ghoul kids does. That sets Quintus off. So Quintus and Maximus have a shoot off. Maximus, of course, pussies out. He doesn't go on ahead and kills Quintus. He locks him in the room. While this is happening, the friend basically goes on ahead and finds the ghoul kids without any help or Maximus telling them where the kids were at. The friend also goes out and steals the Area 51 nuclear cold fusion MacGuffin plot line. Not the one from Moldaver from season 1. That's completely irrelevant. But they go on ahead, find it, and they give it to Maximus and to Thaddeus. And speaking of Thaddeus, so Thaddeus is in the cafeteria room, bunch of the Brotherhood of Steel members. He has his armor on. He's being an absolute idiot. The fat Asian Brotherhood of Steel elder lady comes up, starts sucking Thaddeus off. Okay, she doesn't do that. She just basically starts kissing up to him. It's like, Alexander, trust us, we will never join Quintus. We will never try to betray the Commonwealth. Then the old sexist Brotherhood of Steel elder comes up. He's like, oh, what are you doing, kissing up to Xander? But listen, Xander, we can solve this. Just give us a bunch of 500 fusion cores and we can take care of Quintus today. Then he also goes and looks at the fat Asian lady. He's like, telling you this is why women shouldn't be in the Brotherhood. Then a guy comes in and says, the cold nuclear fusion MacGuffin is stolen. Then he looks at it and says, oh, we gotta go on ahead and solve that. All right, man, let's go. And then the fat Asian stabs the sexist guy in the mouth, kills him. This causes a mass shootout between the Brotherhood of Steel members. All this leads to is just that all three of our Brotherhood of Steel idiots team up together so that Maximus and the Thaddeus can go on ahead and leave and escape. The friend decides to stay behind. So the two of them run comically away from the Brotherhood of Steel base. The Brotherhood of Steel base is practically getting destroyed. Their carriers are falling from the sky. And that's how the Brotherhood of Steel section ends. This entire point was so completely stupid. The fat Asian literally starts a mini civil war because she couldn't handle this very gentle, soft, sexist comments. I'm not even saying he called her the C word or said anything derogatory or even touched her inappropriately. He just said, oh, because you're a woman and we shouldn't have that. That's it. And she literally causes a freaking war to happen. Absolute stupidity. Also, why didn't Maximus or Thaddeus go on ahead and take another Brotherhood of Steel power suit? Why didn't they go on ahead and take another nuclear fusion core? Why didn't they go on ahead and potentially try to sabotage the other suits so that no one can chase them? This is stuff that doesn't make any sense, but this is Amazon's Fallout. That's what they do. Alright, so if you made it this far, thank you so much. If you could, please scream like banshees in the comments section, and subscribe to my channel. I'm trying to at least get to 10 people by the end of March. So thank you everyone. Have a good one, and I'll see you for episode 5. Goodbye.